Good evening, fighters, and welcome back to the TNF podcast. I'm Pharaoh.
I'm Wolfpack.
I'm Shamaro.
And we have a lot of stuff to cover, so we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of it. Shamaro, I believe you have a major announcement for us.
Yes, indeed, Wolf. So, for all of you who are listening who have been eagerly awaiting for us to finally drop our YouTube channel, it is going to be out and up and running this week. We just got finished recording 4 episodes today. Big epic recording session. So we are all set for the next month or so of videos. The first one is going to drop this coming Friday, and then each Friday afterwards will be a new episode for the K9C YouTube channel. So look forward to that. We've got a couple episodes of Tekken 8 stuff coming up in the future, along with some Fantasy Strike and Street Fighter 6, where me and Wolf will basically look at the games if we haven't already, and we'll challenge each other to some interesting handicaps to make things more interesting. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
And with that, Wolf, I believe you have a bunch of tournaments to go over with us in the near future.
Indeed, I do. We have a ton of tournaments that we're going to be keeping our eyes on. The very first one is going to be Genesis X. It's going to be going down February 16th to 18th, so it is happening at the same time as the Last Chance qualifiers for Capcom Cup X. The tournament will be emanating from San Jose, California, in the United States, and the games that'll be featured there will be Under Night in Birth 2, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear Strive, and Street Fighter 6. So, February 16th to 18th is going to be a loaded weekend for getting in as much watch time as possible for both Capcom Cup X and Genesis X as well. While we're on the topic of Street Fighter, the Street Fighter League World Championship 2023 will be happening on February 24th. This one will be emanating from Burbank, California. So, not only, basically, the Street Fighter community is going to be having a lot to look forward to. The tournament is happening the day before the top 16 take the stand for Capcom Cup X. So be sure to keep your eyes open on the SF League World Championship 2023. From there, we have the SNK World Championship Finals 2023. That's going down in Los Angeles, California, March 16th to 17th. The featured game is King of Fighters 15. We are going to see an SNK World Champion crowned in the City of Angels. From there, the ARC World Tour Finals for 2023 is going down in late March. There are actually 2 tournaments going on. First is the Psy Tournament that will be held on March 21st, which will feature Under Night in Birth 2. And then the actual finals will be just a few days later on March 24th. Under Night in Birth 2 will make a return appearance, and also Guilty Gear Strive will be a part of the festivities. Both of the tournaments are taking place in Long Beach, California. After that, we get into the month of April, and Slashback 2024 is going to be going down April 6th to 7th. That is going to be in San Jose, California. We're going to see multiple Guilty Gear entries, including Guilty Gear Zerd Sign and Guilty Gear Strive. We will also see BlazBlue Central Fiction, Melty Blood Type Lumina, and Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. Not to mention, once again, Under Night in Birth 2. So that is Slashback 2024. And then in late May of this year is one of the most highly anticipated tournaments in the fighting game community, Combo Breaker 2024. Now, 2 things. First off, on the contrary to all the other tournaments I just listed, this one will not be taking place in California State. Instead, it is going to be emanating from Schaumburg, Illinois. And second, some of you might be thinking that this is a Killer Instinct tournament. Unfortunately not, despite the name of the tournament. This is the biggest, one of, if not the biggest Mortal Kombat, one of, if not the biggest Mortal Kombat tournaments in North America. So Combo Breaker 2024, May 24th to 26th, Schaumburg, Illinois, in the United States, Mortal Kombat 1. So those are all of the upcoming tournaments. It is going to be quite a challenge to get as much as we can on said tournaments. And yeah, we're going to see just how much info we can get. We're going to make sure that we get to witness as many of the grand finals as we possibly can, along with the various brackets leading up to the grand finals. So, with that, I'm going to hand it right back over to Shamaro, who's got some very big game news for us.
Thanks, Wolf. So, for all of you who may have missed it, the highly anticipated Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash finally dropped this past Friday. It's it's a big deal because it's Jujutsu Kaisen. It's one of the more popular recent shonen anime. It's like another kind of your average, slightly above average supernatural fighting anime, and it's got a lot of traction. I think fans have been waiting for a fighting game like this to drop for a while, and of course Bandai Namco has taken the reins with this recently, and they have made essentially a fighter in the vein of the Naruto Ninja Storm game. So it's basically a 3D fighting arena where you get to throw out all your flashy moves, and they're gonna have the main expansions and whatnot. So it's gonna be a lot of fun for those of you who watch and have been following Jujutsu Kaisen during its lifespan. I think if you haven't gotten this already, definitely get it. It definitely looks like an amazing game. It's very polished, I will say, a very, very polished and very good looking game. And I haven't seen a lot of it so far because again, it just came out. But it has shown a lot of promise. I think we're definitely going to have to get our hands on this, Wolf, and try it out because it definitely looks like a really good game. Plus, for those of you who might want a little extra bang for your buck, there is also a deluxe edition or like a special edition out right now where you can actually get the game along with a physical Jujutsu Kaisen banner, a special limited edition banner, which I guess if you're a big fan of the series, definitely go pick this up because it's a great way to get some exclusive merch that is tied into the game.
Oh yeah, that is going to be one heck of a game. I've taken a look at it myself. It looks fan-freaking-tastic. So if you haven't already gotten the game, be sure to get your hands on it. And don't just take our word for it. See for yourself why this is going to be probably one of the most talked about fighting games of the year.
Yeah, right up there with T8 and it'll probably be like a contender for the best anime fighter of the year, I'd say.
I can agree.
So Wolf is gonna try to pick that up at some point. So we should hopefully have some gameplay for you guys on the YouTube channel, say in like March or April. So look forward to that. In the meantime, we've also got another game that we're probably going to show on the YouTube channel in the near future. Wolf, I believe you have another recently released game to mention that we mentioned in the last episode.
That's right, we did. Under Night in Birth 2. For those who did not know, this game is now out. It released on the 24th of January. We are coming up on a week and a half, almost 2 weeks post-launch. And the reviews and ratings are in. And to be quite honest with you, I'm kind of surprised. It's a mixed bag of reviews. Nintendo Life ended up giving it a 9 out of 10. OpenCritic scored it at 85%. Steam was not so forgiving. It garnered a 6 out of 10 on Steam.
Oof.
And that's based on from what I'm seeing right now, 815 reviews for the game on Steam. Yeah, it's not exactly the best rating, but there are other ratings as well. For example, Event Hubs gave it a score of 7.3 out of 10, so that's a bit better. Shack News gave it a 9 out of 10. And let's see what else. Quite a lot to say the least here. But yes, a mixed bag of reviews, but don't let that get you down, because if you've been a fan of this franchise, whether you're a new fan or you've been a fan since day one, then obviously you know just how wonderful this franchise is. I know next to nothing about it, and even I can see greatness. And this game is sure to be, hopefully, the definition of greatness as the year goes on. And again,
yeah, I think the real meat of the controversy here was well with all the mixed reviews is just because like you have the new fans coming in that are just getting into Underday for the first time, and they're liking what they see for just the first impressions, and then you just got the older fans who were really into like the greatness of the old game, and that lifespan haven't lasted for 7 years, and they just got so used to the old game and how good it was. So I think we're just in a long-standing transition period for where older players are going to have to get used to the new game.
yep, I can definitely agree with that. The adjustment period might be longer for some people than others. Depends on who you ask. But again, much like with Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash, don't take our word for it. If you want to witness this game for yourself, be sure to go and get it right now. I can tell you this, you will not regret it.
Yeah, it's currently on Steam. It's on Switch. It's on I believe it could be on PlayStation. And yeah, so if you have any of those, just definitely check it out.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, we go back to another highly anticipated game from earlier this year. We go back to Tekken 8, and we are going to give our thoughts on DLC speculation. So, we already know that Eddie Gordo is slated for release in the game sometime this spring. But for the first season's pass, there are 3 other slots remaining. So, I'll start with you, Shamaro. Who would you love to see appear on the Tekken 8 roster?
Well, going through the Mishimas that I would like to see come back. Obviously, Hachime would be a great addition to come back. Also, his wife, Katsumi,
Yep.
she would like you know what I mean. I'm a big fan of those two for T7. So seeing those guys come back with fresh coat of paint in T8 would be awesome. I would also have to see. I never got a good chance to play Kunomitsu in T7, and after the TWT World Tour finals back last month, I'm definitely thinking of her as a main. So I'd love to see her come back in T8. And aside from her, I would also really love to see Bob come back, because he was like one of the first characters I played in Tekken period. So and plus he's a fan there, so I definitely think he would have the best chance of getting back, honestly. So yeah, definitely Bob, and also what's her name, the Prime Minister of Poland.
Lydia Sobieska.
Yes, Lydia is definitely another character that I didn't get to play her before in T7, but she looked really cool. She's an old school cry girl, definitely my kind of fighter. So I would love to see her come back in T8.
Yeah, those are some pretty solid picks there. I would definitely have to agree with you with Kunimitsu after seeing what she could do during the global finals for the Tekken World Tour that happened earlier. I believe it was earlier last month. Definitely a beloved character. I've played Kunimitsu quite a few times, going as far back as Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag Tournament 2. She's a bona fide favorite, that's for sure. So I agree with you. Would love to see Kunimitsu return to the roster. Same thing with Lydia. I did play Lydia quite a bit in Tekken 7. And I have to admit that, unpopular opinion, I think that she was probably the most impressive original character for DLC as far as that was concerned. Because, I mean, old school karate style combat. She's the Prime Minister of Poland. And apparently she's got some beef with a certain individual who struggles with controlling the devil gene, and no, it's not Kazuya. So it would be really cool to see Lydia come back in Tekken 8. I guess another character that I would want to see come back in terms of like original characters. Oh boy, that's it's a really tough one, but I think I would love to see Armor King come back. I know that there's been rumors about Armor King coming back, and that there have been some leaks here and there, but you know, rumors are just rumors, right? So you never know. Armor King may actually show up in Tekken 8. Maybe he won't, but I would love to see him come back. And actually, he would be one of the characters that I would be labbing quite a bit, because I don't believe I've ever actually played Armor King before. I've played King a few times, but I don't think I've ever actually touched Armor King. So I would love for him to show up. And I guess as far as a crossover character would be concerned, I would probably want to pick a character from Street Fighter, and I would want that character to be, or I would like that character to be Cammy White. So that's it. It's a biased answer because I basically main Cammy in Street Fighter 6, but I feel like she would be a great fit for the roster because not only does it add a little more diversity in terms of nationality, but we also don't really have too many English speaking characters to begin with in the Tekken franchise. So that would be an absolute godsend to have another English speaking character in the series. And on top of that, like, just imagine some of the interactions she could have. I can definitely see her and Lily getting along because, they're both cat lovers. I mean, Lily's got Salt, and Cammy befriends stray cats. So I could definitely see that going over pretty well. Alternatively, I could see an interaction with her and Leroy because Leroy is a dog guy. So that would be pretty funny to see. And like even other characters that have been in like some form of the military, like Lars, for instance, who led the Tekken Force at one point, or Raven and Victor, who both work together as part of the United Nations. Like, that would be really neat. So, yeah, overall for me, absolutely agree with Kunimitsu and Lydia coming back. Would definitely pitch for Cammy to show up as a crossover character because we've already seen how well Katsuhiro Harada and the rest of the team were able to work with a Street Fighter crossover because they had Akuma in Tekken 7, and they did him so well that they actually put him in as part of the story itself. So I think that with that success from the previous game, I think they could definitely do it again. So those would be my picks, absolutely.
Nice. And then Pharaoh, who would you pick for your picks to come back?
Now, I haven't really touched recent Tekken games very often, and the only one I actually own is Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
That's a good one.
If I were to pick a couple of characters, I would first start off with Roger Jr., or whatever the heck they called him.
All right.
Tag Tournament 2. We all know he was a fan favorite back in the day.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he's got a fan club of some sort.
Oh yeah, he's got a cult following, that's for sure.
So you got to pick a fan favorite, right?
Oh, for sure,
right.
Man, for sure.
Yeah. And for my second one, I'm gonna have to go with Tiger Jackson, who hasn't made an appearance since Tekken Tag Tournament 2. What's funny about him is he's kind of more of a filler character, if I'm going to be totally honest, as he's the only one that I am aware of who does not have an official storyline with Tekken at all.
Wow.
Nor does he have a voice line in any of the games he shows up in.
That is...
Strangely enough, he has also appeared in a similar Pac-Man clone of Mario Party.
Okay, now that is...
Really?
Yes, it's called Pac-Man Fever. That came out in the GameCube back in 2000 and I believe it was 2003.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
2003, something like that.
I've heard of that one. That's very interesting. I had no idea that Tiger Jackson was in that one.
Funny enough, Heihachi also appears in it.
Oh, haha. Of course. That's freaking amazing, though, actually. That is unreal. Never would have thought.
So, yes, if I were to pick two, they would be Roger and Tiger Jackson.
Interesting. What about a crossover character? Who would you pick in that regard?
Crossover, huh? Oh boy, that's a tough one. That is a really, really tough one. It's like I have a whole sea of ideas, but I can't just pick one. Doesn't seem fair.
I mean, if I had to choose a crossover for T8s, I would say definitely bring in Kenshi from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Kenshi would work so well in the game. He would work so well. I would love to see him face off with Victor. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Or Yoshimitsu as well. I think that would be just as exciting of a matchup.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect, actually.
That would be so neat. Kenshi would fit so well into the roster. That'd be amazing. And actually, before we wrap this up, special shout out to Event Hubs for an interesting article that they put up. Twitter user Aliette Faye recently constructed a character popularity chart based on the Steam version of Tekken 8, and it shows which characters are being used the most and the least among the top 10,000 players worldwide.
Ooh, okay. So who we got for number one then?
Well, this comes as absolutely no surprise to anybody, and Shamaro, I know you're gonna love this one. It's Reina at the top of the chart. Yep, she's at the top of the chart. She's being played by 8.23% of the top 10,000 players. So that's roughly about 823 players that are using her. And that makes her basically the top ranked among our newcomers. The other newcomers, Victor and Azucena, they're also within the top 10. Victor is being played by 6.47% of the top 10,000 players, which puts him as the third most popular character. And then Azucena is being played by 4% of that group, marking her as the 9th most popular character. And keep in mind, we're only a week into the post-launch period, so I think that's absolutely staggering that Reina is at the very top. But what shocked me was not just the number of characters that are at the bottom, but who those characters are as well. Panda, Zafina, Shaheen, Leroy, Raven, Nina, Xiaoyu, Kuma, Jack 8, and Claudio are all down at the bottom. That's just over a quarter of the entire roster right now that are
Dude, that's so sad.
at the bottom.
Because, like, Kuma, like, how can you not love Kuma? He literally just he's a bear who knows karate and he slaps you with fish. How can you not love the guy?
Right? And I mean, like, Panda as well. Panda's just as lovable. She works well with Xiaoyu, and like, she and Kuma have a thing going on. Like, how do you not like that? Right?
I know, and especially since like early today we were doing videos for the YouTube channel, and I gotta admit, I love playing Kuma. He was a lot of fun. He actually made up for a lot of my shortcomings as a noob to to Tekken in general. So I
Yeah.
think he should be definitely higher up on those ladders. And then like Claudio too. Like Wolf, you were having a fun time playing Claudio in our game earlier today. So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely,
and like
man.
I think he definitely proved himself as a really good combatant. So I'm surprised that he's in the lower echelons of the rankings.
For sure, all 10 of those characters, from what I'm seeing in the article, they're all seeing less than 2% of usage among players. So it's really kind of weird seeing all these different big names showing up at the bottom of the chart. And going back to Claudio, like I can kind of understand the situation with Claudio because he's still a relatively new character. He debuted in Tekken 7 alongside other characters such as Lucky Chloe and Shaheen. You can also lump Shaheen in there as well because he's still new. But yeah, like I was impressed with the way Claudio plays. Like he is one of those wildcard characters for me. Like he is now probably one of my new favorite characters to play as. So, given like how diverse his moveset is, it really shocks me that he's down at the bottom. And on top of that, other iconic names, Raven, Nina, Xiaoyu, like they've been around the block several times, and I'm stunned by the fact that they're all down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just like players getting burnout in terms of like playing them, or whether it's just like there's just no interest to begin with. But us, like for all those guys, it's really sad to see them be dropped so low.
For sure, but we don't necessarily have to worry about it too much because, as I mentioned before, we're only 1 week into the post-launch period. So
True.
as time goes on, there's a good chance that the numbers will change and that characters will be moving all around the popularity and usage charts. But yeah, definitely very staggering for sure for the first week of post-launch activity for Tekken 8. With
I
that,
mean, in the end, the most important thing is the ring is in the top spot. Honestly,
yeah, this is true. That's pretty important for you because you whipped my ass pretty well earlier today with her.
Purple Lady for life.
There you go. But with that said, I will turn it back over to you because you have a very cool entry for our indie spotlight.
Yes. So this week I'm bringing in the indie fighter Fight of Gods. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with this very niche fighter, basically it was a bunch of devs who decided, let's take all the major religions, like past and present, and basically put them into a fight arena. And so that's what they did. So it's basically a traditional 2D fighter, and they've got like a lot of different representation here. Like they got the literal Buddha, they got Jesus, fresh off the cross. They put Santa Claus in there for some reason. I'm not sure why he identifies as a god, but I guess he does somehow in their eyes. And yeah, we also got Amaterasu from Japan. She's repping the bow wielding zoners. We got Odin and Frigg from Norse mythology. They're pretty good zoners too with their range with their spears and such. From Greece, we have Zeus and I believe Athena was the other pick for the Grecians. And they got some good heavy brawler energy going from them. And also, who else do we have? Yes, Pharaoh. They put your cousin in. They put your cousin in this game. Anubis is available to play, and also he's been a fun like rushdown character for me to play. So I'm definitely interested to see what you think of him, what you end up thinking of him, Pharaoh, when we eventually feature this on the YouTube channel. But I'm kind of curious now. After hearing all of this, who do you think you guys would main? Like aside from who I've already mentioned, there's also like some Chinese god that I can't pronounce the name of, and I think in the near future they're going to put in like an Aztec god because this and the cool thing about this game is that even though it's very niche, it's got a dedicated fan base that's been voting on like which gods get put in next, and the devs have been very very dedicated to keeping this game alive. So,
Wow.
with all that, I gotta ask, like, who would you guys main?
Oh man. Honestly, I'm not too sure. Actually, question here: are there any Roman gods in the game as of right now?
That is a good question, and unfortunately, no, the Romans did not get thrown in yet. Although that would be very tricky because the Romans are basically just a copy and paste of the Greeks for the most part. So,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not.
fair enough.
I mean, sure, like the Romans did have some of their own original gods that weren't copy and pasted from the Greeks, but I'm not quite sure who would be big enough of an entry to be worth putting into the roster. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe if they put in you could always go into their forums, Wolf, and see when they're going to do a new vote for a new god. So I guess if you want to put a Roman god in there, who'd you have in mind?
The one I actually had in mind was the Roman god of the sun, Helios.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, he could be a pick, I guess. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I was thinking him, but yeah, it would be either him or or Neptune actually, the Roman god of the sea.
oh well, I think if they're going to put like a sea god from Greeks, I think they're just going to put Poseidon in. Honestly, I'm not sure if these guys would really do Roman gods, just again because of the copy and paste with the Greeks things. So
Yeah, that's
I think we
fair.
have. So I think they would have to have like one of the original Roman gods that are lesser well known, but who knows? They might do a little mix up here and there. But like of the characters that I've mentioned that are definitely in the game right now, Wolf, who would you main? Do you think?
Um, I think I would probably go with Odin. I actually think I would probably go with
Okay,
Odin.
all right, Norse god of trickery and wisdom.
Yup.
That's an interesting choice. He's definitely one of those bigger like big body types, and I haven't played a lot or I haven't seen a lot of gameplay with him, but I do believe he is a zoner slash grappler type. I believe that's what his archetype is. So I think you'd be right home with him. As for you,
Yeah.
Pharaoh, who do you think you would main in this game?
I believe you should already know that answer.
Right, but is there anyone else you might? Right, but is there anyone else you would want like secondary main in this game aside from Anubis?
Good question. Good. If I'm going to be honest, Santa, because it's just funny.
Oh, of course, our maverick of the group has to choose the troll character.
I mean, come on,
course.
what would be next? The Easter Bunny?
I mean, I guess so.
Well, in all seriousness, though, that actually would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, actually, I would be interested to see what they would like how they would portray him in a fighting game. That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, then
Yeah.
that brings the question over to you then.
Yeah, I like from what I've played so far, Anubis definitely a good rushdown character for me, and I'm always a rushdown kind of guy.
Oh yeah.
Aside from Anubis though, I think I might try maining Athena for a little bit, just because
Oh.
like I've always been a big fan of Athena just as far as mythology goes. So I think I'm definitely gonna try doing her, and I know she's a spear wielder, so I'm partial to a good zoner every so often. So I think she would be a good change of pace for me.
That's a solid pick right there. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So Five Gods. If that's our ID spotlight for this week. If you guys want to try to get it for yourself and try it out, it's on Steam, it's on Switch, and I think it might also be on PlayStation, maybe Xbox. I'm not sure, but yeah, definitely Steam and Switch. So if you don't have it yet and you want to try it, if you want to see which deity comes out on top, definitely go check it out. And with that, we move on to our discussion topic. So, Pharaoh, I believe you have an interesting discussion topic to start us off with.
Correct. So our topic is really the use of AI in fighting games. Admittedly, this is sort of a controversial-ish situation because of the camps that we have that have already been. How do I say it? there's people who don't mind it, and there's people who don't. Pretty much, it's
that's kind of par for the course with all.
In a general sense, it's a mixed bag, sort of.
Yeah, that's kind of par for the course with any new technology. So no big surprise though. I guess the real question is here, where do we think that AI is going to be implemented into the fighting games? Wolf, what do you think? Do you think the devs are going to be using AI more for the creation of fighting games, actual production?
Yeah, I would definitely say that is a very big possibility going forward. Because that's pretty much what the future is going to be at this point, is things like virtual reality and artificial intelligence. So yeah, there's already different studios that are going to be using AI for character voices, which it's a very 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 gray area, because while it is cool to think about the notion of AI producing voices for different characters, at the same time, it's gonna put people out of a job. And on top of that, there have been instances where AI has gone on to take certain people's voices and use them without their consent. So while I do feel like we're pretty much par for the course on the future being heavily relying on AI, there's still definitely enough out there, not just in video games, but in just society in general, that will pretty much divide people for decades and decades to come.
Yeah, I think going forward, they should still have voice actors, but they should find voice actors that are willing to give their voices to AI to make the game. I mean, in a sense, the VA still get a cut of the cake, so to speak. They still get a paycheck, and they still get a good royalty from that. But then they don't have to do the actual work of saying all the lines out. All they gotta do is say one line that the AI can use to replicate their voices, and then and then the AI can just do it all super quickly. So I think if it's done right and it's done with good ethics, I think it could really help with just speeding up development of games in the future.
Precisely, a good example of proper usage of AI, I guess you could say, is actually with Tekken 8. They implemented AI for the Super Ghost battles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where the opponent will actually learn all the moves you make. So it'll learn your attack patterns, it'll learn your block patterns, it'll learn what combo strings you pull off the most. And
Okay. So it's basically a learning opponent that's also a CPU. And I guess this kind of moves us into the territory of how AI will be implemented in the actual game itself. So yeah, I guess they would be making for the best sparring partners you could ever have, because they would analyze you and keep you on your feet eventually, essentially.
Exactly. So that right there would be a prime example of the usage of AI pretty much done right, is, creating this mode that allows the computer to analyze the way you play and in turn help you become a better player. So I definitely think that if fighting games going forward implement that sort of uh, mode or style of gameplay, I can definitely see that there's a pretty bright future ahead. So I'm actually curious to hear what you and Farrell would have to say in regards to AI possibly being the future of fighting games.
I mean, the question with the AI being used to control the CPUs at this point for me is aside from the training modes, would they ever consider putting AI learning opponents into the story modes of games? Could we see instances where you're going through the story mode of a fighting game, and the opponents they learn your moves throughout the match, and you have to they like maybe have a difficulty spike for how much the AI learns each level.
Interesting. So I guess it would be kind of like, I guess almost like a puzzle, so to speak.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I guess that's one way to put it. Farrah, what about you? What do you think about AI being utilized in like actual fighting in the actual game itself?
Now, I'll be honest, I do express a degree of similarity to Wolf's opinions on these things. But the more that I see it, the more that I'm most afraid of when it comes to AI being implemented into fighting games and, in a way, video games in general. It's more of just putting people out of work. Like, why? Like, obviously, this is probably a lot later down the line, but it's still something you should probably be a little bit concerned about.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, sure, that happens with most tech, but it's gonna to me, it's gonna be one of those situations where sure, it'll initially take a lot of jobs away, but then because of like all the different operations you have to do to be able to use the AI correctly, I think that's going to create a lot of jobs too. So I think it's just an ebb and flow of the job market here.
I could totally agree with that, and it's a good thing that you brought that up, because when people talk about the usage of AI in general, people are always rushing to talk about the negative aspects of it. Where specifically, people, being out of a job and whatnot. I think that there's such a fear and stigmatization around that it clouds it. I'm oh man, how do I say this?
Well, I'm not sure if clouding is really the right term here. I mean, like,
yeah,
Pharaoh
definitely not the right
point.
term.
It's definitely going to bring out a lot of change, and change is going to be scary to people. And people who've been working at a certain job for like a decade or so, and they've gotten all used to the status quo. I think that's going to scare them a lot when their job maybe gets taken away and they have to totally switch gears to like something similar or totally new. So I think there's definitely going to be a lot of juxtaposition. To be fair to all the people who are probably going to lose work over this, but I think in the long run it's nothing to really be super afraid of, because like devs and VAs and all those guys who make these games possible, like they're adaptable. Like I'm pretty sure they are capable of getting through this and finding new occupations to make a living. So I mean I think the real issue here is that we just prepare for the times of turbulent change, and we just stay calm and figure out how we're going to adapt to these new changes.
Yeah, I'm totally in agreement with you there, because I mean, sooner or later it's going to happen, and the adjustment period will be longer for some rather than others. But yeah, it's ultimately it comes down to how you handle that adjustment. So it's going to be very interesting to see down the line, um you know at least 25 years from now, maybe even less than that, to see just how much of an impact it has, not just on the video game industry, but just how it impacts society as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be something to watch out for, and sure, for all you listening, like, sure, it's a scary thing. Like, new things are always scary. Like consider when the car first came out. Like, people were wondering, oh well, what's the point of a car? Like people were scared of that, and yet nowadays it's our main mode of transport. So
There you
I think
go.
this is just another instance of it's like a radically new technology that's going to be super helpful. It's just people who are used to the status quo and the old tech are just going to be very skeptical of it for a while. So I think it's just a matter of getting through that adjustment period and just staying calm and being open minded about the possibilities, but also still being aware of the risks involved and just mitigating those.
Exactly. And so pretty much we turn it over to you guys. What are your thoughts on AI being implemented in fighting games down the line, and even just, being part of video games in general. I know for a fact that we would love to hear all your different opinions and where you guys stand on it.
Yeah, definitely, and especially since this episode will hopefully be up on YouTube by the time you guys are listening to it. Yeah, definitely tell us in the comments like what your opinions are of AI in fighting games moving forward.
Yeah. With that, I think it's time to wrap up the episode with probably one of my personal favorite parts of the show, the dream rosters. So how about
Yeah, Pharaoh.
how about we let
Pharaoh, how about
Pharaoh
you take
take
it
the
away
lead
here?
here?
All right, so looks like I'm starting off. Now,
Yep.
I understand fighting games. Why the hell? Now, what I'm thinking of here. Now, we all know the Borderlands saga, right?
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
knows. A lot of people know that. Like, why would
Yeah,
you have a game? Why would you put? Yeah, like why would you put characters from a series that is mainly a shooter series in fighting? Well, if you've played the game long enough, or at least you have some experience, there's like 4 different subclasses in like the 4 different subclasses for you to pick from, and they each have their own different abilities. Like the one I'm gonna pinpoint here might be the best example would be the Siren, which has a whole bunch of magic capability that you can do like elemental damage and all that. Of course, this could easily be thrown into a fighting game such as we'll probably just use Mortal Kombat, as that's probably what the equivalent standard of magic being canon in a fighting game series, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
But of course, there's a whole bunch of other classes, and of course, you could make a good excuse that any of this could be featured in a fighting game one day.
Yeah. Plus, I can definitely see like Claptrap being the announcer for this game.
Oh,
Or as an
man.
extra fighter to just punt around like a soccer ball.
That too.
Yep.
Just considering he did get a lot of hate in the first game, and that didn't exactly help in the pre-sequel.
Yeah, I
True,
could
I
could definitely see that.
I think people appreciate his start deep down.
Give him time.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah,
Now,
but Pharaoh,
Wolf,
honestly, actually, well, Pharaoh, I want to stay on you for just 1 second.
okay.
As far as you mentioned Mortal Kombat for the Magic System, but would you think this Borderlands game? Do you think it would stay like? Do you think you would follow MK's lead as far as being like a 2D fighter, like a traditional 2D fighter, or do you think it would be more of a arena fighter or a Smash Bros. Like platform fighter? Like what format do you see this game happening?
Now, honestly, if I'm gonna be on, if I what I'm gonna think of this, a platform fighter is absolutely out of the question.
Okay, why would you say that though? Because Borderlands is a shooter though, so why would a platformer be out? So why would a platformer be out of the
Admittedly, I
equation?
find it extremely difficult to fit it as a platform fighter, and when the game itself is already in a 3D environment. So I understand Smash Brothers, but we're trying to distance it from. It's like it doesn't really make sense when you throw it like. I don't really know how to explain it. It does not make sense to be a platform fighter.
Okay, so you're basically just trying to get like a more of a juxtaposition to the genre that is within FPS, and you're trying to link that a little bit better with the fighting game that would come out of this. So, are you thinking more like a Tekken sort of idea here, like with a 3D arena?
I think that would be like more reminiscent of how Tekken is designed. Would probably be a better idea for how like a 3D, like if it's a 3D arena, it would probably work great with it, but it's really up to anyone's interpretation.
Okay,
That's fair. Yep, that definitely works. For mine, I'll keep mine short and simple. TV personalities. So
ooh, okay. Now, Wolf, there's a lot of TV personalities out there. Who would you put in your roster?
to name a few, I would put Jay Leno in there. I would put Drew Carey. I would put Steve Harvey, Gordon Ramsay, maybe Jimmy Fallon. Uh, there are thousands of TV personalities from all over the world. And personally, like I just think that this would be like a game that exists, just for the hell of it. It would basically be a joke game that's not supposed to be taken seriously.
Oh yeah, and I can definitely see game show hosts being on here, like Vanna White.
Yes, from Wheel of
I,
Fortune.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see her and her co-star on there. And I guess they're like if I was gonna put like game show hosts into your roster, I would definitely put what's his name who hosted Jeopardy for the longest time.
Oh, Alex Trebek.
Um,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Alex Trebek. My
The
bad. I
late
forgot his
Alex
name.
Yeah.
Trebek.
Jeez, how could I?
yeah, yeah, Alex and I'm trying to think what okay, who was the guy who hosted Family Feud? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve. I definitely put Steve in. He would be excellent for this kind of game.
Oh, for sure. And like maybe just for shits and giggles, I would probably put Simon Cowell in there as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think if anything, I think this would probably work best as maybe like a platform fighter, probably. Cuz I mean like it would be just for, just for laughs, man. This is supposed to be a game that's not to be taken seriously. So, I think to make it like really goofy, I think it would probably work well as a platform fighter.
Okay. Interesting.
Similar.
Like, no, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, so it's sort of similar to that the fighting game featuring wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men.
Yeah, pretty much something
Like
similar
on that
to
level
that.
of comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
it'd be
I
something
can
along
kinda
those
see it.
lines.
Maybe maybe your fighters wouldn't even move. Like maybe they would be on like a 2D space, but they would like fight using like their audience appeal or something.
Yeah, something like that, probably. In terms of like how they would look in game, I'm thinking they would probably be like, probably like bobbleheads or something.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think
Yeah,
that would be
do
an
that.
absolute
Do that.
blast.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, short and sweet, that would be my idea. A video game involving popular and iconic TV personalities.
Cool. So I guess that just leaves me now. So going off of my whole retro theme that I've been going through the past couple episodes, I'm definitely gonna go with 80s cartoon stars.
Oh,
So-
nice.
So you like obviously the first one that comes to mind is He-Man and his Masters of the Universe guys. Like obviously there's too many characters from his franchise to really put into a roster to make it fair. So I put him. Maybe Balcat could jump in as an assist, and then you'd have Man at Arms, Tila, obviously Skeletor and Eva Lynn would be in because of that recent addition to the Netflix original series. And so He-Man, I would definitely put in some GI Joes. There would also be Thundercats. Thundercats is another really big one from Mattel Toys. So I would definitely put in. Of course, you can't forget the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNTs. Like now, I know people might think, oh, but there's a lot of guys in that show. I think I would just keep it to just the Turtles, just for the time being, and maybe add in the Shredder later on as DLC.
Yeah, good idea.
Just be balanced. And then, of course, we have to have Transformers, like the original Transformers in there.
There you go.
Again, I know a lot of characters in that, but we would keep it kind of to the main core cast, like Megatron, Starscream, Optimus, Bumblebee, and maybe like two others that could get named, like Ratchet or something like that. So yeah, there would be those guys. Maybe just to go totally crazy with this idea, like just go with all the 80s mascots, like maybe the original versions of My Little Pony. You could have the Smurfs. You could have I'm trying to think of you like you guys know some 80s cartoons, right? Like who else could you see being in this?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe the gang from Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That'd be
sure,
great.
sure, I mean, sure. Some people might argue that they came from the '60s, but I think they were pretty big in the '80s too. So I think they would be. I think some older cartoons like that would definitely have a spot in this. Pharaoh, what do you think? Can you name a good cartoon from the '80s that would work here as well?
All right. Let's see here. So I know this. So yeah, obviously the Scooby Doo is well, you could say it's from the '60s. The Smurfs, you could say are from the '50s. I mean, I've seen a lot of those, but if I'm going to be honest, you have to go with the Flintstones.
Of course, the modern Spanish family. Yeah, the Flintstones.
There we
And I guess
go.
by extension, I guess by extension, we would also have to throw in the Jetsons. Just for
Yes.
balance.
Because they literally premiered one after the other. If you if you were watching Teletoon back in the day.
Yeah, Tilton Retro, and those guys did have a crossover movie at some point where they time traveled. So
That's right, they did do that.
Yeah, definitely got to balance out Flintstones with the Jetsons, and the real Ghostbusters would also be a shoe-in pick for this roster.
There you go, the OG Ghostbusters.
So definitely a lot of potential for who could make it into this to the roster, and the DLC possibilities are just endless. As for the format of this fighting game, I obviously just from the cartoony aspect, I would initially think Smash Bros. Clone, just because it kind of falls into the same vein as the Nicktoons or the Nickelodeon All Stars thing, or the cartoon or the Multiversus, like those kind of games are kind of where this would kind of fit in, the whole cartoony Smash Bros. Sort of clone. Although I could perhaps see this as maybe do what Nintendo did with Pokemon, doing a Pokken sort of tournament thing. I could see that happening, but yeah, I think I would definitely lean towards Smash Bros. Platform fighter. So yeah, that's basically my awesome idea for a dream roster, and I guess that's gonna do it for us. I can't really think of anything else, so yeah, we'll just move on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way for us to wrap things up here.
Yeah. All right. So, to all you guys at home, thank you for tuning in for another episode of TNF. We are Kia and Calamity. I'm Shamaro.
I'm Wolfpack.
And I'm Pharaoh.
And definitely check us out on social media. Don't forget to join us on socials at Twitter and Instagram. We are on there, and we will keep you updates through there on our latest episodes and videos. And once again, please do remember to check out this coming Friday the first inaugural episode of our YouTube channel. It will be up soon, and it might look a little rough around the edges to begin with, but we will be updating it on a regular basis and cleaning it up and making it look nice. So definitely look forward to that. We will keep you posted on when videos are going to drop. I mean, it's going to be every Friday, but we're going to keep you posted anyway through the socials. So definitely keep an eye on that, and we look forward to seeing you there. So, and you'll probably also see these podcasts show up on the channel too. We'll have it in a playlist, so if you missed any of the old ones, we'll have that in there for you guys to enjoy, all archived and nicely packed. So so a lot to look forward to, and we look forward to seeing you guys there.
Yep.
So from all of us here at TNC, fight on.
Fight on. Stay safe. We'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.